Hey!
What's up?
Hey, Varun, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's Kyle Cloutier.
It's Reed Hoelscher from class.
Yeah, we're the loud ones. We want to
We
say
sit
hello.
there.
Sometimes we stand. All right, let's run into this.
All right, so Kyle, today we're going to be talking about what is a blockchain and like its potential impact. It'll be pretty fun. So let's start out with what is a blockchain.
Okay.
Kyle, why don't you get this one?
I'm going to get started. A blockchain is a system in which a record of transaction made in Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency are maintained across several computers that are linked peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer.
So I'm going to get into how does this technology work. So first point. A node will start a transaction by first creating and then digitally signing it with its private key. A transaction can represent various actions in a blockchain. Most commonly, this is a data structure that represents the transfer of value between users on the blockchain network. Transaction data structure usually consists of some logic of transfer of value, relevant rules, source and destination addresses, and other validation information. So Kyle's going to get into number two.
Number two, a transaction is propagated, aka flooded, by using the flooding protocol called gossip protocol. To peers, this is validate the transaction based on a preset criteria. Usually more than one node are required to verify the transaction.
Okay, that's great. Let's move on to number three. So once the transaction is validated, it is included in a block, which is then propagated onto the network. At this point, the transaction can then be considered fully confirmed.
All right, number four, a newly created block now becomes a part of a ledger, and the next block it links itself to the cryptographically back to this block. This link is a hash pointer. At this stage, the transaction gets its second confirmation, and the block gets its first confirmation.
Let's move on to the last point, and that's number five. Transactions are then reconfirmed every time a new block is created. Usually 6 confirmations in the network are required to consider the transaction absolute final. And so that's how blockchain works. Now, Kyle, why don't we start by telling them how you think blockchain can impact businesses in a significant way?
Okay, blockchain allows people to trust data because it's decentralized. And what that means is that there's not one computer that holds everything and it can be altered very easily. That means it's checked up on tons of different computers across the whole network. And so not one computer holds all the power. All the computers hold all the power. Therefore, it's overlapped and checked all the time.
So you're saying it's different than when people used to like keep ledgers on a book.
Exactly. So if there's a ledger on the book, you can change that stuff up and no one would know.
Absolutely.
Whereas this, you try to change something and all the other computers reject it.
Amen. So I'm going to go ahead and describe a few potential applications for blockchain technology. I mean, number one, this is the most obvious one, just going to be cryptocurrencies. I mean, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Primecoin, Dash, Potcoin, Purecoin. There's so many out there, and blockchain is that technology that's the driving force behind it. But there's other great things that can happen, like you can host an election. Stock market trades can be absolutely instantaneous, and like we were talking about, there can be a fully public ledger of land registry and things of that sort.
Duh.
So let's get into the last part. So Kyle, as we know, there's a lot of technologies that come and go, but some have staying power. It can be pretty transformational. So why don't we close this by saying like what you believe is blockchain just hype, or will it be transformational?
This ability to trust data is extremely vital to the healthy business. So I believe blockchain will stay until something greater comes along. And I just think this is just a new way to look at all the information across the board. Also to keep that in a day and age with technology and like people changing things, it's so much easier to hack. This is one way that in theory could be hacked, but you would have to override the whole system, aka every single computer that's on the system. And especially if you have a system that's a big scale, say there's 4,000 computers, I mean, that's kind of hard to hack every single one of those computers, especially because they'll have different securities in each computer. So I think it's something to stay, and I think it's going to stay for a while until something else comes along.
Absolutely.
Good.
Well, good.
Have a good one, Barone.
See you, Barone. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.